Running is the worst way to start fat loss if you're 50 pounds or more overweight. It wrecks your joints, crushes your motivation, and makes you feel even more uncomfortable in your own body. But there is a shockingly effective alternative. Walking, done right, can burn a lot more fat than running. I've lost over 70 pounds, and most of it came from walking. My clients, thousands of pounds down in total, and I start all of them with a step goal and we go into walking. And in this video, I'm giving you the best walking plan to lose your first or next 20 pounds. For this first point, I'm gonna start you off with the story. I hated the way that my fat flopped around. Sorry if this is gross, but if you're in this boat with me, then you understand. I hated the way it felt when my fat flopped around while I was trying to run. This is me whenever I was trying to run on that, initial running fat loss plan, and I just felt horrible. I was embarrassed, achy, and just didn't feel like I could build any momentum. I'm sure you've been there. Whenever you're like, man, this sucks. Is this really gonna work? Walking didn't make me feel any of that, on the other hand, and it burns a much higher percentage of fat than running does. Now, that just means that it's using fat as an energy source, and it doesn't actually matter at the end of the day. It kind of matters just how many calories you're burning. But still, it is pretty cool to know that walking literally burns fat as you're doing it. It is using fat as a source. And this part is very key. It actually preserves muscle mass, which keeps your metabolism running high and keeps it, from having to go to where you just cut on your calories and eventually you're eating like a bird. Walking doesn't take those precious resources like HIIT training does, or high intensity training, from your muscles. So your muscles are actually able to grow and more effectively stay on your body, which means your metabolism is going to be high. Walking is also very easy on the joints and won't leave you sore. So with running, every single time you take a step, I think it's something like 7 times your body weight actually gets sent into the leg as a sort of shock. And so that's called eccentric loading. Whenever you are, lifting weights, let's say you do a bench press, and on the way down, that is an eccentric part of the movement. So every time you take a step and you're kind of absorbing that shock, that's an eccentric load on your legs. So it's kind of like you're overtraining your legs. If you're brand new to this and you want this all done for you, I built a free 21-day fat loss plan. You can grab it in the pinned comment or the description below, but it is all done for you. It includes my cookbook, which people have really been loving. People have been using it a whole lot. High protein meals, delicious meals. So this whole system comes together and it's kind of something that's done with you, done for you. The best part about walking, and I seriously believe the most effective reason that it is the best for fat loss, is because it's something you can actually stick to. For me, whenever I was much larger, I dreaded those high intensity sessions. I explained that earlier because it just made me feel horrible, any sort of running or any sort of high intensity stuff. But walking, I didn't dread. It was something I knew that I could do and I could progress in every single day. Mentally, you're not fighting your body and trying to do something that is just shocking the system. You're actually working with it. This isn't a short-term fix. This is your new foundation for real lasting change. You're not just burning calories, you're going to be building unstoppable momentum to actually do it this time. And I know you can do this. So for this next point, check this out. This is the ladder of walking. And it's just a simple graphic that shows you that walking is less like a hurdle that you have to jump over and commit all into, and more like a ladder that you can climb and progress in, which I think is what makes it a superpower for fat loss. I really do encourage my clients to climb this one step at a time so that you end up winning, because you're gonna win if you climb this ladder. Cool little bonus is that studies show more steps equals longer life. That's a true fact through and through. Walking improves insulin sensitivity and decreases blood sugar without the use of insulin. Now, of course, if you are diabetic or pre-diabetic or whatever, consult your doctor and still use all your medications. I'm not saying to come off your medications. I'm just saying this can help as well, or prevent you from ever having to go on it. Lifting is still king though whenever it comes to blood sugar control, for other reasons that don't really match this video, but I'm just saying walking does really help. Every step you take is like taking a step closer to the version of yourself that you know is possible. This isn't about doing more, like I'm sure you've done in the past. It's about doing what actually works. So trust me, this is gonna work for you. You got this. I want you to find encouragement from this video that you are going to lose the weight. Okay, so let's talk about how to start walking and how to start walking more. I call it the STEP formula. I'm gonna be looking at my phone to, recite this formula. STEP. The S is start where you are. So start tracking exactly with whatever you have on you. That could be your phone, it could be a step tracker, it could be a watch, it doesn't matter. Figure out exactly how many steps you get per day on average. The T is to track your daily movement with whatever you got. For me, it is this Neskla, and I'm gonna show you more about this later. I actually have a screenshot of it, but it's this Neskla 3D pedometer. I think it is just the best step tracking tool, and it's super cheap. You can just keep it in your pocket. E equals elevate the intensity or the incline, carrying weight, going longer, something like that. So we're gonna talk more about that. And the P is to progress every few weeks. So let's break this down a little more in depth. So start small, wherever you're at. You add 1,000 calories to that and you try to hit that. You want to add 1,000 calories until you get to a point where you're like, this is pretty challenging, but I can definitely do it. 8,000 to 10,000 is really the sweet spot for where all the health benefits start to happen and the longevity benefits of living longer. So that is what I would really try to give yourself time. It's okay if you feel like you can't get to 8 to 10,000 right away, but with time, I would try to build into that. Add some structure to it. So this is something like a morning walk or, walking after meals, one long walk at the end of the day where you just make a habit at the end of the day, I'm going to go on this long walk, whatever it is, add some structure, get a plan going, not just randomly taking steps, but the random steps add up as well. So that kind of integrates into every aspect of your life. Like 2 ways of walking. There's like casual walking, which is just going to be your steps. And then there's things that feel a little bit more like cardio or sometimes a whole lot more like cardio. And we're going to talk about that. If you don't increase your intensity or your length or whatever over time, then your body will adapt and you'll actually start burning less calories with the same amount of work. If you think about it, that makes a lot of sense because walking literally gets easier. You're getting more fit and you weigh less. So you're carrying less while you're walking. So of course you're going to burn less calories. So that's why I recommend this progression system. Week 1, I would start with, really, it's wherever you're at. I've just put numbers on here, okay? So don't worry if you're not here or if you're past this and you kind of got to adjust for that. But let's say it's 5,000 steps and a 10-minute fast or weighted walk. I'm going to refer to that as like a cardio walk. So 5,000 steps plus a cardio walk. Week 2 could be 6,000 steps plus a 10-minute cardio walk, still keeping that 10-minute cardio walk. Week 4 would be 8,000 steps and a 15-minute cardio walk. You could do like a 7,000 step, week 5 in there, but I figured giving the body a little bit more time to adapt before jumping up to 8 might be a good idea. I promise if you follow this system that I just laid out, you will start scorching body fat. Give it time, give yourself a little bit of grace, and let yourself build into it. This next part is, in my opinion, the most underrated part of walking. Something I've always wondered is like, why do phones have airplane mode? Does airplane mode why is it called airplane mode? Does it actually interfere with the airplane? Like, I'm a serious question. Like I haven't looked it up. You can, let me know in the comments if it actually interferes with the airplane. I'm not sure exactly what it does, but I think it's a good analogy. Walking is like airplane mode for your brain. Let me explain. I think there's a huge mental health, and I know this is kind of lame, okay, but there's a huge mental health benefit to exercise. A lot of people who have struggled with their mental health, are going to kind of perk up whenever they hear that. But if you've never really struggled, I'm telling you, there is this benefit that you might not even realize you're going to be getting because you're kind of used to the stress of everyday life. But if you can just turn off the noise and go think for a while, or for me, it's prayer, something meditative to where you feel a little bit better, that is going to translate to the rest of your day and you're going to be able to lose weight more effectively because you're taking time to reflect on yourself. You could also use this time for some self-improvement stuff like, downloading podcasts to help you build your business or help you, raise up in corporate America or whatever it is you're into. Take phone calls. A lot of times with my online clients, if one's really struggling, I'll actually give them a call, and that's the time whenever I'm getting my steps that I will talk them, off the ledge, so to speak, and to encourage a person because the road that you're about to take on this journey is a bumpy one sometimes, and taking that walk and just being able to de-stress is going to be really important. But you could catch up on phone calls, you could listen to an audiobook. I don't know if you're into Harry Potter, like think of that. You could listen to all 7 Harry Potter books in like a month and you'd be benefiting your health. I also think an underrated aspect of this is that it's following through with a promise to yourself to hit your daily step goal. And that builds that momentum, that trust for yourself that, hey, maybe I can do it this time. Because if you're anything like me, you failed so many times in the past that maybe you don't really trust yourself. And so this is something that might help build up some of that momentum to, okay, I think I can do this. All right, here's that screenshot I was going to show you about the Neskla pedometer. These are just like optional things that can really help you. So a step tracker, you could use your phone. Just make sure you're actually carrying your phone whenever you walk. A lot of people, they'll either just, like be holding it, and I'm not sure if it's counting 100% of the steps. I've tested it. The older phone models, by older, I just mean a few years ago, it didn't collect it all. I actually, funny enough, literally like 3 days ago, I was testing this with a client. She held her phone just like this and walked, and it did count all of those steps. So maybe the newer models are a little bit better at that. I'm not sure. But you can use an Apple Watch or a Fitbit. But I love that step tracker. It is just so accurate, and it's super cheap. I mean, the screenshot, I think it was like 15 bucks. Definitely skip those like cheap fitness trackers on Amazon. They just don't. They track all wrist movement, and it is crazy how many steps they give you as like a based off your movement. And it is just not true. For me, I get like 30,000 steps on those things. I have tested them out. And my daily steps are anywhere between 14 and 15,000. So this plan works, but eventually, sometime during your journey, things are going to get hard. Motivation dips, life happens, and you're going to want to quit. That's why I made this video, to show you exactly how to push through that phase. Watch that next, because this journey is not just physical, it's mental, and I know you probably relate to that. And I promise, with the right plan, you have what it takes to win.